Reporter Ivan Fisher.
Weather anchor Ivan Fisher.
Ivan Fisher. Ivan Fisher.
Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'm Ivan Fisher. With the legality of both the weapons and the shooter's mental state still both question marks and no declared motive for the Toronto murders, our team asked if millennials really think those two issues are the deciding factor on why these acts of violence occur.
Each time a shooting, like Sunday's at a Nashville Waffle House, happens, the same questions and answers come out about what should be done.
And without the crazy person, without the person's having evil intent, the gun can't do anything. Mental health has got to be dealt with.
So the last 4 mass shootings in America were all the assault rifles.
And the vast
that is the reason, Mr. Shapiro. And you can smirk at me and you can laugh at me.
I'm not smirking.
Millennials at MTSU had their own take on why mass murder seems to be a defining factor for their generation.
I mean, some people just feel ignored, and then they feel like they're not going to be anything, and they're like, well, one way that I could be something is to go and shoot up a Waffle House.
I think that people, they don't interact with society and community like they used to, and I think that that is a huge part of why people are feeling alienated or isolated and can't talk to people.
One student and former service member takes issue with mass murder being attached to people with mental illness.
I myself have some mental issues of myself, but I find ways to deal with them. There's people who not even diagnosed or who may not even know about it, but you don't hear about them going and committing mass murders.
It might not be guns, and it might not be mental health, or even a disconnect from society, but it is a defining issue of a generation.
Students felt that the way that they interacted and found connections in 2018 were some of the pressing issues on why their generation acts out in this way. The need for attention and gratification from people we don't actually know, similar to the shooter's relationship with singer Taylor Swift. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg arrived yesterday on Capitol Hill. He did not answer questions from reporters, but he did meet with lawmakers behind closed doors ahead of his testimony this afternoon. This Senate hearing is coming after a data firm with ties to the Trump campaign reportedly obtained the data of 87 million users without their knowledge. A glimpse of Zuckerberg's intentions going into that testimony was released yesterday. This sets the CEO up to take the blame. Zuckerberg is prepared to admit that they did not do enough to prevent the ability for fake news, foreign interference, and hate speech. He will also take the blame for failing to protect users' data from outside developers.
And you want people to trust you.
Like other CEOs who have come under fire for their business practices, Mark Zuckerberg will be testifying in front of Congress today and tomorrow to answer questions about Facebook sharing its users' data. Scrutiny of Facebook has been growing ever since it was discovered that data of nearly 90 million users had been collected by the political consulting firm Cambridge Analytica. Since the Cambridge Analytica leak, Facebook has gone on to confirm that they not only recorded their users' call history, but they also attempted to send a doctor out to hospitals to share user information. So I went onto the MTSU campus to see what kind of questions students are asking.
Are they just selling it? Like, who are they giving it to? Because collecting the data is one thing, but spreading it around to anyone and anyone who'll take it, that's kind of a whole other issue.
Trying to show me stuff that I don't really care about, or like they're just giving out my information, so I'm like, I don't know who has it, so people know stuff about you that you don't even know them.
Like how much data, my personal data, could have been used to either influence elections or just the general idea of where my information was going and who was actually able to see it.
The more students knew about the data sharing, the stronger they felt about what might have happened to them.
I'm just supposed to use this site to interact with other people that are similar to me. Why are you collecting that data? What is that data being used for? It's not necessarily why they're collecting it, what are you using it for? Because that's my personal information.
As of Monday, Facebook has alerted users who have had their data obtained by Cambridge Analytica, but that might not be enough to ever restore students' trust in social media. Opinions and ideas about the world we live in are easier to find than ever thanks to platforms like YouTube. However, journalists and entertainers making a living on YouTube have to be careful that their content is advertiser-friendly. So are MTSU students okay with that future for online media? Whether they are serious or for comedy, posting and covering controversial events, sensitive topics, and using unacceptable language means you will have a very hard time ever making money from an ad on YouTube. YouTube uses Google to target consumers through a program called AdSense that tries to pair their product with your favorite YouTube video or channel. MTSU has been ranked among the 30 best media and entertainment programs in the nation. So as media continues to move onto platforms like YouTube, students have mixed feelings about censorship online.
Yeah, I definitely think that is important, especially since little kids can get on there.
Saying just certain words kind of throws YouTube off, and I definitely disagree with that.
It just all depends on the topic. Like, I'll throw out an example. There's some people that you might have somebody that will put out a video where it has racist content.
I feel like you kind of have to like separate the ad from the video, because I mean they're not really, correlated. A lot of the time.
The question becomes, is it up to the platform or the advertisers to decide who should be able to have a career?
I don't think YouTube should be in charge of that. I think the ad should, the people that they're advertising for should be in charge of what they want their content to be a part of.
Without a competitor for YouTube, the free and free speech may be a little more true than future media members know.
YouTubers can always appeal their demonetization, but MTSU students who see a future on the platform should know the rules before they count on a profitable future online. The city of Murfreesboro is working to make sure you stay safe in your apartment. Crime has become a growing problem in apartments close to the MTSU campus. A new police unit is being assigned to complexes to work directly with students. The Murfreesboro Police Department is holding workshops for apartment managers to educate them on ways to keep their tenants safe. The city hopes these efforts will help get rid of bad tenants and give good tenants a peace of mind. 56% of all Tennesseans approve of the job President Trump is doing. That's not surprising because Tennessee is a Republican state. But what about college students, the voters of the future, a population assumed to be more liberal? However, a poll of MTSU students 2 years ago showed overwhelming support for Trump. So over a year into his presidency, has much changed?
The simple answer for how many students view Trump as a president?
Not a very good one.
However, conflict in Syria, deployments to the border, and tough talk on Twitter affect voters all differently. What may be a problem for one student may be an achievement for another.
It's stuff that shouldn't be discussed on a platform such as social media, like bombing Syria, like having that just be a tweet.
The missile strikes on Syria, I mean, that's something that I feel like Obama would never have done, and it just shows that America finally has a backbone again and will do what's necessary to protect the lives of innocent children and people who were chemically killed.
As President Trump moves forward with his term, students had issues they wanted to have handled for the next 2 years.
The way he handles his situations, he goes straight to social media, which is like very unpresidential, and just all the scandals.
Continuing with immigration, not in a way of keeping people out, but just making sure people come through in the correct manner.
Students may not agree with the way the president does his job, but following the presidency can be the step to making a vote you'll stand by in the next election.
We reached out to both the college Democrats and Republicans, but both organizations passed on making a comment.
Only lacking Governor Haslam's signature, public schools are going to be displaying a message that may raise a few questions from parents and students.
I'm here at Hobgood Elementary in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, which, like other public schools across the state, will soon have In God We Trust either on the building or somewhere inside the building that students can see it. So I asked, do MTSU students agree with that law?
Even though nearly 82% of the Tennessee legislation has approved the bill, MTSU students have mixed feelings about that motto being in public schools across the state.
Maybe certain religions don't believe in just God, they believe in a certain other type of, you want to say God or whatever, but I don't feel like that's going to be like fair to other religions.
It's really hard to live out that faith whenever you kind of feel persecuted. You feel like everybody hates you because people believe that you hate them.
It's not a bad institution, but because we're also stating that we have freedom of religion, so it's not being forced, and I don't think that it harms anybody. But then again, there's kind of the question of why does this need to be done?
To
put something such as, you know, in God we trust on something that's public and state funded is essentially illegal.
While many Tennesseans believe that the Constitution creates a separation of church and state, the truth is that phrase is nowhere in the document. The separation of church and state is something that the Supreme Court has decided.
There have been a number of court decisions that have looked specifically at the term "In God We Trust," and generally it's considered to be sort of ceremonial deism. The court has outlawed devotional Bible reading and prayer in schools.
As long as no one is being forced in any belief, majority rule has the right to promote our country's current motto. I'm Ivan Fisher with News 3.
Thank you for joining us for News 3. I'm Ivan Fisher. Have a great day.